Hey, so my next question is from an anonymous asker. The question is, I have a question you can answer in a video. Have you always been a medium, or was it, so we meant to say, or was it? Or was it something you took interest in and developed on your own? Do you believe people can be mediums without realizing it or consciously working on the skill? I don't know where to start with that one. I guess I'll start with your first question. Have I always been a medium? I assume so in some ways, but I think that everyone is to a certain degree. I may have been more sensitive to it just because I've had a lot of experiences with death from a young age. My first boyfriend committed suicide 2.5 years into our relationship. My second boyfriend was killed a year later in a car accident. I've had grandparents and people who just weren't really like very old. I mean, the grandparents who I have had died in my life have been younger than 60, so I have definitely had like a succession of deaths happen in my life sort of really close together, and I think that that was a catalyst for me exploring the concept more, although it also made me much more skeptical. But before that, even when I started ghost hunting and stuff, I think that I would have like not like scary experiences, but just, you know, those questionable moments when it's like, did I just see something out of the corner of my eye, or am I just going crazy? And that happened to me a lot, and I think it happens to a lot of people. I guess the point here, what I'm trying to say is that I don't think that I was born with or possess any inherent skill that is any more good than anyone else's. I think that I'm sure that there are prodigies in the mediumship world, just like there is anywhere else, but I'm very skeptical of anyone who makes a name for themselves in mediumship. People like Sylvia Browne, I just think that they're full of shit, honestly, because to them it just seems like it's all about money, and so that's not the question you're asking, I realize that, but I guess I just want to throw it out there that I'm really skeptical of mediums who make a whole bunch of money off of what they do and off of the tragedy of other people. Was it something that I took interested in and developed on my own? Yeah, I guess, see, the thing is you start out with, like, things happening to you and you have no, like, control over them, and then you start to explore it more and you're like, oh, maybe I can control this. And I think that that's, like, a really common trend on Tumblr, is this idea that we're, like, out of control people, and that really paganism or witchcraft is all about learning how to control these amazing abilities that we have. And I don't know, it sounds like a bunch of malarkey to me. I never really had an issue with the experiences that I had, and that's saying a lot because I have a huge anxiety of the paranormal. Like, I have like I've had panic attacks over it, and it's something that I'm getting better at, but I just think that, you know, it doesn't have anything to do with any inherent ability that I have. That has just more to do with like my mental health issues. But yeah, I definitely have developed it on my own to make it more measurable and more calculated, and that's why ghost hunting is so appealing to me, I suppose. Do I believe that people can be mediums without realizing or consciously working on this skill? Absolutely. Definitely. I mean, I think like anything else, like there are people who are born to have an easier time doing something. Like there are people who, you know, take to writing music. There are people who take to swimming really well. There are people who take to singing really well. But it takes a lot of practice, you know, and so someone who has put in years and years and years of really dedicated practice with very little natural skill towards something is absolutely going to be way better than someone who has a natural skill at something and just has never even bothered to work on it. And I just think that that's true of anything, you know. When you dedicate your life to something and you're doing thousands of hours of work to make it better, then you're certainly going to be better than someone who just thinks that, oh, I was born with this natural gift and so I'm just good at it. And I am very skeptical of people, like I said, who make money off of these natural paranormal gifts that they've been given. And that's not to say that like I wouldn't charge for a seance to someone who I didn't know, or I wouldn't charge to come in and do ghost hunting in someone's space, or to do a tarot card reading for them. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, you know, people who are saying, I am the best in my field, I have, you know, talked to angels and gods and I speak on behalf of them and I'm going to charge you $900 for a half hour of my time. Like, those are the people that I'm skeptical of. So I hope that that makes sense to you, even though you didn't really ask about that, but I guess I'm just going to ramble anyway.